So today we read Leviticus chapters 13 and 14, and both are going over the law of leprosy. And so many things jumped out at me from this reading. The first one is thinking about why this is in here. I feel like God is teaching them to, kind of be sanitary, because if you have like a skin infection, you really should stay away from other people. I believe leprosy was contagious from contact, so I think these were good teachings to the Israelites to prevent things like this from spreading, and to help the people who got it to heal by, separating themselves and resting, and then afterwards cleansing themselves so they could be free from it. And then another thing that jumped out to me was the offerings that they were to offer after they were cleansed from leprosy, and how God makes a way for, he recommends a lamb, but then he says if you can't afford a lamb or you don't have access to one, that you can bring whichever birds you have access to. And thinking about the time that they lived in, most of the flocks were owned by certain people, and then certain people would be able to afford to buy some, but I don't think anyone owned the birds, so they could just go out and catch some birds if they needed to. So I thought that was really cool to think about. And then another thing that was interesting is that a house can get leprosy. So you think of it as like a skin infection, but then they're talking about a house being infected with leprosy and having greenish and reddish sores. So that's, I don't know, I'm trying to wrap my head around that and how that would work, but very interesting. So would love to hear what stood out to you, what you're thinking about from the reading today, if you're inclined to comment, and looking forward to continuing our learning journey. Hope you have an amazing day.